Hi everybody. I thought you might appreciate a little video running you through some of the administrative things that we have to do on WISE. And so here's a quick little video to run you through some of those things. So the URL address here is wise.ldschurch.org. Hopefully you know that. And as you get to the screen, now I have a number of teachers that I coordinate, so I always have to go to a program, and then I have to choose which program I'm going to use. I'm going to go ahead and use the Champaign, Illinois State Seminary. I think you only should have one program, so it won't matter. And you should probably only be able to see one class, whereas I see a bunch. I'm going to go ahead and select on Darren Hope. And this will then give you a view of your class as you click on this. And then the first page that it'll send you to kind of automatically is the attendance page. And this is where you have an opportunity to mark the attendance, which very simply you hover over the day. So let's say today. And if you click on it, because it says absence here, that's what it's going to actually show here is an absence. And then you can correct that once it stops thinking. Maybe. You can click the right click it, and you can put the present there, and there you go. I'm going to go ahead and set it back to blank so that he can take his own role, but that's how you would do that. And you'll notice that there's a number of options. So let me do this. You've got absent, you've got present. Those are the two you'll use the most. If a student was absent but then they made up the absent, then you can hover over their absent and right click it, and then you can put make up absent. There's a tardy, and then there's a make-up tardy, and we don't really do much with make-up tardies, but we do. Sometimes you have students that are excessively tardy, and if they are excessively tardy, then we might have to start talking about what we want to do to bless that student's life, and you might think of some make-up work for tardies, but that really, I've only done that a few times in my experience in seminary, and so you probably won't use that. So that's the attendance, and I think most of you are pretty well versed in how you can do attendance. You can toggle through weeks, if you're need to go back and work on some things, you can click on these different tabs here, and these are all the weeks. Rather than wait for it to think, though, I'm going to go ahead and show you this reading tab. The reading tab is an important thing that you're going to need to do, because when you get to the end of the semester and it asks you, did the student read or not read, you're going to have something set in the reading tab for you to even mark yes or no on. Otherwise, it won't let you do anything, and then your student doesn't get credit. So you want to go to this add page, and then you will want to add a reading assignment. You could attach it to a lesson, or you can just not attach it to any lesson at all. You give it a title, and you can say Second Nephi. So say you want your students to give a check by time they get to Second Nephi. Then you can say, and you can even tell yourself that, are you to Second Nephi yet? And then you can save that, and then that would make a reading check on Second Nephi. Then, depending on how often you want to actually check their reading, you could set that to be every week, you could set that to be every month, or you can set that at the end of the semester. But then you can push mark reading, and you have all your students here, and you can say, yes, Tennille is to Second Nephi. Paige isn't, Anna is, and you can set the reading check like that. I'm going to go ahead and trash that so that he can set his own reading check, but that's how you would do that in the reading. Let's see here, what else would you want to know? Here's the grade book. When it comes time to close up your class and to set grades and all those things, you'll want to go to your grade book. You can give your letter grades here in these aisles. The attendance is going to be here, and so pretty early on in the semester, it's pretty easy to see most everybody's getting credit, and so you'll click yes, they got attendance, but you will wait until the end of the semester to click that yes. Reading here, you'll click this, and then it'll have a reading check. That you can do it from here. I'll let that do its own thing. And then you put your test score here. When you've administered the assessment sometime in December, then you will put the score they get out of 100 here, and they need to get at least 75% on that score. And so you'd put that there. And then once those 3 criteria are met, then the credit will change to yes, and then you can save it up here once you've done that, and then Sister Pike can close out your class. So that's how that one works. One other thing that you might want to use, well, let's see here. I want to also, we should probably do something with schedule here before I finish up. The reason why schedule could be a useful thing is if your students are using, oh, sorry, not schedule, I want session details. If your students are using their My Seminary app, or their parents particularly are using it, then if their student misses a day, they could call you, and that's fine, and that's not a big deal, or email you. Or they can go to the My Seminary app, and if you have created a schedule, well, that's if you want to copy one of the other teachers that they've already set up, or you can create your own schedule. Then they will see what day, and so depending on what day you started, say you, and even if you've already started and you started August 21st, and you wanted to set a schedule that started with the title page, and then if you wanted your ending lesson, which would be sometime in December, the 22nd, and you wanted to end that with, depending on where you want to get, you wanted to do Alma 13, you can select that. Then what it'll do is it'll create, I'm not going to push create because I'm not sure how I would turn that, how I'd erase it, but then it would auto-populate all the days with the lessons, and then you can go in and hand select lessons that you want to move around, make one a doctoral master day or whatever. But then if you've done that, then if a student is has missed a day, it's really easy for them to get on My Seminary app and see exactly what lesson they missed that day. That could be useful if you so choose to use it. You don't need to if you don't want to, but a lot of teachers are using it and find it useful. Last thing I want to show you is the message function. And for a lot of you, your classes are pretty small and you probably already have your students' phone number to text them. But if you want to use this function, you can. You can send them an email that's blank, or you can just send out a general absence, tardies, grade notice, and this can go out to your students' parents instead. Let me just go ahead and do a blank one. You push continue, and then you can set it to the preferred method of getting to their parents. You can do a text only, or you can do an email only, or you can do the preferred one. I like to do email only just because sometimes when I'm sending these out, I want to actually send a message that's longer than what a text will allow because it's got a character limitation. You push continue, and then you can just type in your message and send it out, and it'll send out the message to all the parents. If you want to send out their grade, then there's less that you need to do to type in, unless you want to put a note, but you can just put out the grade notice or the total absences just to remind parents. It'll send them a quick email that says your child has this many days absent. That's a quick way to use that, to do it once and for all, or just to keep them updated. So anyway, that's kind of your crash course in WISE. There's all these other things that you could explore if you wanted to. You could look at some reports just to see what the trends are in your class. Again, you've only got a handful of students, so maybe that's not as necessary for you, but you can play around there if you would like to. Okay, I hope this was helpful. As always, you can call or email me if you have any questions. Okay, bye.